Hi everyone, I'm Deborah Fleming Bradley, and welcome to my space where I inspire women to aim high in their lives. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about your season of separation. First, I'm going to start off with my season, of course, and I'm going to talk about the three things that I learned. The first one is that separation is not about secluding yourself away from people physically. Number two, it's about moving your mind away from your self-limiting beliefs, doubts, and fears. And number three, being patient with the processing of you, because unlearning your self-limiting beliefs is a very uncomfortable process. So let's start with number one. Separation is not about secluding yourself away from people physically when you're trying to become the best possible version of yourself. Also, it's not about to be confused with isolation. When you move yourself away from people long enough, it becomes isolation. And when you look around and no one is there around you when you return, many of us will be thinking, okay, I was going through some rough times. And we tend to say, I don't have anyone to turn to, or everyone has left, everyone is gone. But who really left? During your season of separation, when you physically move yourself away from people, you're actually isolating yourself. So when you return to those circles and no one is there, that's when we tend to think everybody left us when they actually really didn't. It was actually you. So you have to start thinking about when you're in your season of separation, becoming a better version of yourself. How do I do that? And how do I keep a cohesive circle of support while I'm doing it? So we have to always think about how we are always spending maybe a lot of time saying, I don't want to do this anymore, instead of focus on our goals and what we really want to do and moving towards what we want to do. Because eventually, if you move and you always focus on what you want to do, all those things that you were trying to avoid and not want to do will eventually go away. For example, when my dad was a drill sergeant in the United States Army, he was orderly and strict. There were rules not to be broken, and I followed the rules until I was exposed to my best friend's parents, who were very liberal and relaxed. I always thought if I strayed away from my dad's rules, I would never be the great person he was to me. He was strong, successful, the most amazing person in my life. I took on his persona and mannerisms because he was winning in life, and I wanted to be just like him. Now, my best friend during our childhood was smart, she was beautiful, and she had an easygoing spirit about herself. Her parents allowed her to be free. She was able to make her decisions and actions, and I was always intense, and she was always chill. My bedroom was neat and clean. Hers was messy and cluttered. As we grew up together, she was outgoing and popular, and I loved her for being that way. I was reserved and quiet, and it drove her crazy. I longed to be free like her, but my mindset from the way that I was raised said that's not how it's supposed to be for you. I thought it was the only way to be in life, but she showed me differently. Number two, it's about moving your mind away from your self-limiting beliefs, fears, and doubts. What are self-limiting beliefs? These are the assumptions that hold you back from achieving your goals. It all starts when you're young and you're growing up. You see, hear, and you feel experiences that are happening in the world in which you live. We all have our separate lives from the day that we're born, and our lives have been shaped by people in our lives, such as our parents, our teachers, our older siblings, family members that were a constant force in our lives. And lesson number three, being patient with the processing of you, because unlearning your self-limiting beliefs is very uncomfortable. All of these people who have formed your mindset had theirs formed when they were a child as well. It's a constant cycle of generational traditions and curses. When I got married and had children, my self-limiting beliefs would take a toll on me. I cared so much about the judgment from other parents. My own kids would say to me, "You are so mean." Even one of my son's best friends said, "Give him a break. He's just a kid." I was strict like my dad, and nothing could be out of order in my life, including my babies who was just trying to be happy-go-lucky kids. So when my kids would try to be carefree, it would irritate me because I didn't know how to be free. They were just trying to live what we call your best life. And I was stressing out because your best life is being clean, orderly, in line, and serious. I didn't know how to be carefree because that was not instilled in my life. Yes, I had fun when I was young, but not unlimited, wild, and crazy fun. I didn't know how to relax, even when it was appropriate to let go and let God. So here's how I navigated in my season of separation. First, I began to make changes in my daily habits by starting my day off with a bold confirmation by Jim Rohn. It was, be strong, not rude, be kind, but not weak, be bold, but don't bully, be humble, but not shy, be proud, but not arrogant. Secondly, I was releasing my inner athlete. I began to work out consistently and challenge myself to set a personal record daily. Even if it was one more lift or one more point on that dashboard, I still won because that's what winners do. I wanted to be a winner. This was the part and the start of building my mental health as well. I could think more clearly. I also incorporated meditation daily so I could learn how to control my breathing and learn how to relax. Thirdly, I chose my mentor and my coach, and she helped me with my thought processes, how to see what something really meant instead of my assumptions and perceptions that were just taking over my mind on a daily basis. For example, when I was making mistakes in life and feeling like a failure, those failures ended up making me money at the same time. I couldn't see it. I was actually winning, but I was sitting in misery of the mindset and my self-limiting beliefs. Because who associates failure with success, right? You should check out my video, There's Money in the Mess Up, because failing became my best friend. And lastly, I began to face my fears. Fear can freeze you solid. My best friend growing up was fearless. She attracted opportunities because she would always thought about the best that could happen, not the worst. I get excited every day because I know something great is about to happen. Because what's the worst that can happen? Not waking up is the worst thing that can happen. Living life is what I choose to do, and it has no limitations. So I want to ask you to do 3 things and answer the following questions. The first question is, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? Yes, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? The second question is, what would happen if you asked for what you wanted and needed in life? Is there something or someone that you are having lack with, or there's something that you're missing in your life and you knew that someone else had the key to it, to making it better for you? Would you ask them for it? What would happen if you asked them for it? What would happen if you stopped talking about your dreams and took action to make those dreams reality? See, a lot of us like to talk. A lot of us will isolate ourselves. A lot of us will go underground to do the things that we think that are actually helping us. But we don't want to isolate ourselves. We don't want to be by ourselves and our successes and our moves into being the best version of ourselves. So take that action and let's make it happen. In Tim Grover's book, Winning, he talks about separation. He says, separation isn't just about moving away from others. It's about moving away from yourself, changing your own limiting beliefs and habits, your own insecurities and fears, and creating new expectations and values. It's about putting new demands on yourself and shutting out the noise that wants to prevent you from acting on them. Separation is about creating new levels in everything you do. from your philosophies and strategies to your mental approach to excellence. You don't need to be as good as everyone else. You just need to be better. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, follow me on all social media platforms or go to DeborahFlemingBradley.com.